Yeah. All right. And we are now live. My clock reads 1:02 p.m. I am a lot of things, but I am not sure that I am prompt half the time. Get this all situated. And I'm still eating lunch, so bear with me for a few minutes. I'm going to go into the other room and get my phone. I will be right back. I'm going to be using it to run timers today. Because I'm going to be doing this technique. I can never get the name of this technique right, whether it's Pomodorian or Pompadorian, but there is a technique that exists in which you work for 25 minutes and then you take a break for 5 minutes and then you repeat like twice. And that's Scarlett. She has been howling all dang afternoon and I'm not sure why. I have noticed though that she stops howling if I'm playing YouTube videos or if I'm playing movies or music, she'll stop howling. So I'm wondering if maybe she's got like this ADHD brain. That means that part of her little cat mind has to be occupied by other noises, or else she has to make noise herself. Today for lunch, I am having fried potatoes and eggs with onion and garlic for flavor, also salt and pepper. It's cheap, it's easy, and I really wanted fried potatoes. So Genghis Con went really well this year. I was surprised about that. Mostly because they changed locations this year. I know, it's fascinating. Tell me all about it, madam. Oh, you don't say. That was Scarlett's input, everybody. Looks and sounds tasty. Maybe that's what Scarlett wants. You would think that, but Scarlett doesn't like people food. She will gobble down wet food all day to her heart's content, and I have to watch and make sure she doesn't eat Bree's share of wet food because she's really guilty of doing that. But she doesn't eat people food, which is weird. She'll sniff it. She will investigate it, but she does not eat it. She, with the exception of bacon, but I was not cooking bacon. But she loves bacon. She loves the smell of it. Anytime that I am cooking it in the kitchen, she'll just circle around my feet, howling for attention. But she won't eat it unless you break it up into itty bitty bits and you leave it on the floor. She won't eat it out of your hand. Although I was over at my cousin's house last week for Thanksgiving, and she has a little Siamese or a Siamese-ish cat named Sasha, who is guilty of eating people food. Like, if she is allowed on the table, she will eat people food. I feel like that's partly because she grew up in a hoarder house, and whenever cats live in a hoarder house, they will eat whatever food they can get. I did get bacon the other day, but I haven't cooked it yet. I was thinking about saving it for a recipe, but I might just unthaw it and cook it as is. You know, I might cook up strips of it to put into like breakfast burritos because I still have extra eggs. So I could do that. I was thinking about having breakfast burritos for lunch this afternoon because I'm that kind of weirdo, but I decided on this instead. I have a hankering for fried potatoes. I can't help it. See inner Irish in me. Anyway, Genghis Con went really well. I was very surprised considering that they changed locations this year because it's usually, I don't remember the name of the building that it's usually in, but this year it took place in the Tanks building. So what all happened at Genghis Con? I'm glad it went well. It went really well, actually. I was told by the organizer, John, that there was less people who showed up compared to last year, but the people who did show up had money that they wanted to spend. So I actually ended up making 1.5 times more money at this show compared to last year's show, which was really nice. I also got to see my buddies Rowan and Desi, which Rowan, if you're seeing this later, I'm so sorry that we didn't get to trade. I wanted to trade some stuff with you because your Loki paper pads were adorable. Desi and I did a trade. Actually, I'm going to show you Desi's piece. I love this so much. Excuse me. Because Desi is a lino print artist. And this is one of their newest pieces. I did not know the origin story behind this, but apparently what happened was somebody shared a story on Tumblr of how there was this little girl who was told by her dad, get a superhero toy. And she went and she grabbed a Captain Marvel. And the dad was like, no, a real superhero. To which the girl's mom comes up, and because the dad had taken the doll and put it back on the shelf, the mom comes up and she grabs the doll again. She hands it to her daughter and is like, you can get this if you want to. And then the mom looks at the father and says, shut the fuck up, Greg. And it became a meme. So that is what this is a reference to. And I love it. I have another print that Desi did that I freaking love, which is in this house. It's great and I love it. There's another piece that Desi did that, oh my God, I love this so much. It's this very finely like lettered thing that has flowers all over it and looks very cutesy. And it says, in this house, we laugh often, live fully, and we punch every fucking Nazi we see. And I love that so much. I have it hanging in my room. I would take it down, but I don't feel like taking it off the wall. So I got this via a trade. I also got a sweater via a trade, and I'm really happy that I got a sweater because I realized I cleaned my closet out a couple weeks ago and realized that I only really have like 2 sweaters. And this winter, I'd like to have more than just 2 sweaters. So I actually ordered one during Pizzamas, which is this thing run by the Vlogbrothers. If you don't know what Pizzamas is, it was this tradition that started way back in like 2007 or so. John Green, yes, the novelist John Green, he's one half of the Vlogbrothers. He was in a video that had this terrible 1970s cop mustache, and a graphic designer got a still frame of his face with this awful mustache and made it into an almost graphic designy logo and added pizza underneath as a caption. And they printed shirts off of that. And then year after that, they started putting John's mustachioed face onto various products. And this year, they had these big black sweaters that had the Pizza John face on it. And it was very subtle, though. Like, it was a very subtle printing of his face. I don't think you can order it anymore, because the thing about Pizzamas is that these sales of merchandise that has John Green's face on it only lasts for 2 weeks, and then it's done. So they're like a limited time kind of product. And from what I understand, the proceeds of the sales goes to charity, because the Vlog Brothers are super into running charitable causes, or getting involved in charitable causes. So I got myself a sweater, knowing that a portion of the profits are going to go towards, right now they're working with Partners in Health, particularly towards a project that they're working on in Sierra Leone, which the project they're doing in Sierra Leone is trying to build up the hospital system there, so that there's more medical practitioners, more like maternal health experts, and more mental health experts, because Sierra Leone is lacking in all of those at the moment. And Partners in Health is one of those organizations that actually working with Sierra Leoneans to improve the situation, rather than just dumping equipment and being like, here, have it. Partners in Health is actually on the ground working with these people, being like, okay, where can this funding go that is best suited for the situation right now? Because, and this is something that the Vlog Brothers did a video about before, it's happened where there would be an organization that was not Partners in Health. An organization that's separate would donate this like incubator machine that was intended for taking care of children, because this organization had read somewhere that infant death rates and maternal death rates were really high in Sierra Leone. And so they were like, we'll get incubators. The thing is, though, is that the hospitals in Sierra Leone couldn't run those incubators because it requires electricity, and they don't have consistent electricity. So the Partners in Health is there to look at the situation, not just dump equipment. They actually go to these locations and investigate what's going on, and they figure out the best means to help these people, which I really appreciate. I know, it's fascinating, but it all deals with stuff that's too large for a cat mind to comprehend. Scarlett is a serious philosopher, guys. She has a lot of thoughts on these matters. Don't you, kitty? Oh, now that we're talking about something that's not her, now she's quiet. Here shortly after I eat, I will actually get to work. I just want to finish my lunch first. I wanted to try to finish it before live streaming, and I lost track of time. I already have some zines packaged and ready to ship for Wasted Ink Zine Distro out in Arizona. I just got to actually stop at the post office to ship it. Oh, Lord, she coming. Sniffing around and investigating. Anyway, back to Genghis Con. One of the other things I really like about Genghis Con is that if you arrive early enough for setup, there's free coffee and bagels. I really like it when a convention provides free drinks and food for their vendors. It makes me very happy. It makes it way more likely that I return to that particular convention, because that's a sign that they like to take care of their artists and their guests. Part of the reason that I want to try to get back to Phoenix Comic Con, which is going by a different name now. It used to go by Phoenix Comic Con. Now it goes by a different name. But the year that I went to Phoenix Comic Con back in 2014, they had this green room where there was free food and free drinks for the vendors, the special guests, and the celebrities. And they would all get together into this room, and it was available at all hours, so you could leave the table whenever you needed to get to this space. What the? Hold on. There's a puking. Oh. Bravery done puked. Scarlett, get away from there. Scarlett was trying to chew cords behind the television. She knows she's not allowed to do that. Excuse me for a minute while I clean up this here cat puke. Oh, what's got you sick, kitty kitty? Ugh. Right on the rug too, but thankfully I caught it soon enough that it's not going to stick. Odds are pretty high that I'm going to be getting this rug whenever I move out of this house. Though it really kind of depends, because I'm still apartment searching. That's a mixed bag right now. There's one place that they have a 2-pet policy, but they say that they're willing to make an exception, but my roommate Alex and I would have to fill out an application with them first before they can determine. And applications cost money, last I saw. So I don't know. But what I do know is that there are places up in Toledo that I will be seeing this weekend, preferably Monday. Monday, Alex and I can actually get together and see some of these apartments together, because previously she and I could only tour apartments with her being on vid chat and me actually walking around the space and showing everything via video. So it'd be nice to actually have like somebody else walking in with me through an apartment tour. I have a touch screen on my laptop, so if you see me like reaching up to the camera and just poking at stuff, that's me getting rid of notifications or doing other stuff. I am really glad that I upgraded my laptop setup, because I tried setting up my PDF for Dragons, a sketchbook, on my old laptop the other day, and oh my god, it was so sluggish. I'm really glad that I upgraded. I wanted to try to set up Linux on my old laptop, Odysseus. However, I was talking with my cousin's husband, Todd, about it, because he knows computers. He said the best thing to do is to just wait for support for Windows 7 to end, which is about a month from now. And then once that support is done, then go in and install Linux on the machine. So Odysseus is going to sit there unused for about a month before I try to run him again. But I do want to put Linux on him because he's perfectly fine. He's just slow. And part of that could be just because he's old, but I have a suspicion that a large chunk of that is because Windows 7 is bloated to hell. It's also very true that Windows operating systems, after a time, just slow the hell down. Like, I've been a Windows user pretty much all my life, and that's something that I know, is that after a certain point, Windows just slows down and it cannot speed itself back up. So you upgrade to the newest Windows. Or you make your computer a Linux machine. Because sometimes when you have a computer run on Linux, it actually lasts a little bit longer. I had that happen before. My laptop before Odysseus, which I named Penelope, actually lasted a lot longer when I switched her from Windows Vista to Linux Ubuntu. She lasted at least 6 more months before she up and died. But to be fair, she up and died because there was something wrong with the motherboard that could not be fixed. So, 6 months of usable shelf life after getting rid of Windows Vista is a plus. We'll see how long I can use Odysseus for once I finally put Ubuntu on him. Because that's the only Linux operating system that I have on a disk right now is Ubuntu. I'm not sure that I would use Linux Mint because that's the one that a lot of Linux users are like, oh yes, this is the one closest to Windows if you want to make the transition as smooth as possible. But like I tried Mint. I don't necessarily like it. But that's me. All right, I'm going to put this away. Time to actually get to work. Oh, hi, Bree. Oh. Hold on. There's a Bree on my chair.
Hey, you. Are we going to share seats? Yeah. Uh-huh.
Upgrading laptops is such a satisfying experience, and Windows 7 is so slow these days. Yes, I concur. Oh my God. I will be so glad when I finally switch from Windows 7 to Linux. That is going to be so much faster and so much better for Odysseus, I think. I got pretty much everything that I need off of Odysseus and onto my new laptop, Loki, which is how you are watching me right now, is through Loki.
Okay, Big Bree. We're going to share seats.
Sometimes if I sit and I try to squish her long enough, she'll move. Oh, there she goes. Okay. Adjust the camera angle here because I'm going to be drawing The Legend of Jamie Roberts first for this first like 25-minute chunk. After that, there's going to be a little 5-minute-ish break, and then I will work on validation because I finally got some script for a validation comic strip. Knowing that I will be penciling, though, I'm going to be moving these mugs because I keep these mugs on the side here, but I'm going to move these so that I can move the laptop a little easier. Trying not to knock anything over. Okay. I keep way too much stuff on the side of my computer. There we go. Okay. These back over here. Now these back over here. And yeah. There we go. Gonna get this banner back up. Okay. And there we go. I put this desk together myself. I'm actually quite proud of myself for having put this desk together on my own. Okay. I have here the thumbnailed scripts for The Legend of Jamie Roberts. Let's see. I'm going to be working on adapting this page right here. This is usually something only patrons on Patreon get to see, but you get to see it, at least temporarily. And, okay. I'm going to be penciling an adaptation of this here script page. Go get the... That desk looks awesome. It's dang awesome. And it is a significant upgrade compared to the drafting table that I had before, because the drafting table before did not have these little side pockets for like paints or little brush holders or pen holders. It didn't have any room for holding erasers. This does. It has all the holes for all the things that I want to store, and it has a drawer, and the drawer has, I'm going to hide the comments so that you can see this drawer. I love this drawer. I keep my sketchbook down here and some other supplies. There's actually a fair bit of supplies from the last Art Snacks box that I had before I canceled the subscription. I still need to use these. And there's this, like, I don't know. Hold on, let me see. There it is. Okay. The drawers. I keep my Copic refill inks in these drawers. It is so nice. Oh, I love it. And this has a few different heights. So this is the tallest that it gets. And then I can undo it. And then I can, this is the lowest setting that it has apparently. Although I know that there's one setting below that, but I can't get to it right now. And then it just works incrementally up from there. I'm going to return it to its full height because that's the height I usually draw my comics at. It's not like perfectly perpendicular, but it's about 45 degrees, which is about the angle I like drawing comics at. The pencil I'm working with, I have penciled comics with this pencil for the greater part of a year now, I want to say. It is a Tombow mechanical pencil, particularly a monograph pencil. The fun thing about this is that it has a lock feature, which is this little clippy part. And obviously you can refill the lid with that. But another thing you can do is, and that refills the lid also. And you can lock it in place by shoving that up in place. The eraser is a little twisty knob. Admittedly, though, I don't use the eraser as much, if only because I need to replace this eraser. It is just about used, and if I try to get it any higher than this, it falls out. So I'm going to need to get a replacement eraser for this pencil. This, unlike other mechanical pencils I have used, I feel the need to warn you that this does use a 0.5 lead. The majority of mechanical pencils use like a 0.7. This is an exception to that rule. This uses a 0.5.
I know. Where you at, madam? I thought you had more opinions.
Yeah, she'll make an appearance when she wants to make an appearance. All right, so time to, let's see. I'm going to set the timer for, let's see, I've been streaming for half an hour now. I discovered recently that the service that I'm using to live stream with, StreamYard, seems to tap out at 2 hours. Any stream that lasts longer than 2 hours and it cuts off the beginning part and only shows the last 2 hours of a particular stream. At least the free version of this service does. So I'm going to try to keep the live stream to about an hour and a half today. That said, I'm going to work for,
Yes, pretty.
being visited by a little black madam. We'll see if she tries to jump up in my lap. Anyway, I'm going to work for about, I don't know, 25 minutes, maybe 20 minutes. I think I can get the pencils for this particular page done in 20 minutes because it doesn't look particularly complicated. So I'm using an app called Forest to time myself and also to keep myself off my phone so that I can focus on work. And I forgot that I had Christmas mode on. So the 20-minute mark is bushes, and the bushes have little reindeer antlers and the little Santa hat, and the ground is covered in snow, and it's adorable, and I love it. All right, plant. I'm going to focus on this for about 20 minutes. Already off to a great start. I'm making the head too big. There we go. I'm not a fan of the fact that low-key sounds like a jet engine sometimes whenever they run, because that always worries me. Just speaking on personal experience from laptops that I've had before, anytime that the motor sounds like it's whizzing, sounds like it's a little too hot. And low-key really should not be hot right now. This page layout is going to be a bit kookier because I'm not working with solid panel lines, because this takes place in a dream space called the Way. And to symbolize that this is a different plane in which this part of the story takes place, I draw segments that happen within the Way without solid border panels to get that across. It needs to be as fluid and dreamlike as possible. And the easiest way to convey that is without panel borders. Pro tip for anybody who is drawing dream segments or wants to incorporate more dreamlike aspects into their comic work, draw without panels and just have things kind of flow into each other. Because panel lines reflect like a solid passage of time. And when you're in a dream space, there is no solid passage of time. Things just kind of happen. Now, I do have Clip Studio Paint, but I would rather pencil and ink traditionally rather than digitally for the most part. I'm willing to make exceptions, but only on like smaller projects. Like there's a graphic short that I want to do. I say graphic short because it's going to be short in the same vein that Thoughtful Dinosaur is short. But there's a short comic project that I want to do called Snapshot, which I envision it to only be about like 30 or so pages. And that story I do want to make digitally, and having everything from the pencils to the inks be, well, pencils to colors and the letters to be digital. I want to do an entirely digital setup for Snapshot, but not for Jamie Roberts. Jamie Roberts, I want to keep drawing, at least for now, as traditionally as I can, at least in the penciling and inking stages. It's already colored digitally and lettered digitally, but I would rather try to keep the penciling and inking as traditional as possible for Jamie Roberts for as long as reasonably possible. There may come a day where I'm just like, you know what, it's just going to be easier to do it digitally, but today's not that day. Need to figure out the scaling for this figure that I want to draw. Okay, I think I got it. Well, figuring out the mask for this character is going to be fun. Yep, I'm drawing a masked character, and I did not realize it, but I kind of don't like drawing masks. I'm committed. I'm going to make this happen. I made a decision. I'm going to stick to it. The fun thing is that I like to cosplay, but I only like to cosplay as characters that I create because I'm a dork. But one character I've always wanted to cosplay as is this character that I am drawing right now, whom I call The Voice. If you stick with Jamie Roberts long enough, you will know why this character is called The Voice. But this character that I am drawing right now is like in a mask, and has this wild mane of hair, and is primarily in just one big dark robe. On the break, I'll show you what it looks like because I did a painting of this particular character before. And I have cosplayed as original characters before because I cosplayed as the forest spirit one year at YumaCon. That was a lot of fun. I confused a lot of people because they were like, "Oh, what movie are you from?" And of course, the forest spirit can't talk. So I was trying to gesture to people to be like original characters. And one of my buddies, who was kind of my handler, would have to explain to people, "Oh no, this is an original character. She's not from a movie or anything." Drawing feet. Feet are one of the trickiest things for an artist to draw. I've practiced them enough times that I'm okay at it, but I'm still striving to improve. I'm always striving to improve, but especially with feet. And there we go. That didn't take long. And I still have 6 minutes left. So I'll go ahead and show you what I've penciled so far. This here beauty right here. Don't know how well you can see the voice there, but the voice is there it is. Okay. The voice is this big figure here. The majority of this page is going to be handled during the inking stage, and there's going to be some background stuff happening that I'm going to put in Clip Studio Paint. But for the time being, for the pencil stage, this is all that's needed for this page. So, which, oh my God, it's page 49. I am 1 page away from having done 50 pages of The Legend of Jamie Roberts, which, I'm so happy. Today's the 4th of December, 2019, because I'm totally going to date myself whenever this video gets archived. Okay, setting that aside. This script is going back on the shelf. I keep my comic scripts in that little wood crate, except for validation. Validation, the scripts for that are sent digitally to me by Chris. So, a sec while I poke at the screen to get the scripts. Be glad you're not looking at my email inbox right now, because the majority of it is apartment listings reaching out to me at the moment. It's become a chaotic mess because of that. Oh, American Greetings reached out to me. I write greeting cards for American Greetings on occasion. Oh, okay. I should be able to work on this particular assignment. The due date is the 16th of this month, so I have like 2 weeks to work on it. They sent me a bunch of samples, and they want me to write as close to the samples as possible. I'll take a look at that here soon. Just not right now. Right now, I need to look at the validation script. Oh, finally, I'm so glad that this script actually said something about that. So, okay, with validation, we have been teasing Allie and Albert really hard, and this particular strip actually calls out on it. So I'm excited to pencil this. Take a look at that maybe, but there was an advertisement that popped up, but I'll take a look at it later because it was for ExpressVPN. I am looking for a new VPN. I let my subscription with TrustZone expire. I am using Brave as a web browser, and Brave does give you more privacy. But yeah, I need some reference images for these characters. I don't remember what half of these characters look like. You would think that I would make character sheets or character reference sheets for some of these characters, and I never did. I'm a professional. Is this character drawn? Oh, the character I'm looking for is in this folder, I think. Yep, found him. Okay. You know what? I'm going to do a screen share for this bit. Share screen. Yeah, the entire screen. Share. Okay, there it is. Because I'm going to bring up this. And we'll just do it that way. There we go. Okay, but fine, that works. I love this panel so much. I'm really glad too that Chris lets me write up dialogue for Roxy. So a lot of what Roxy says is because of me. You're welcome. Okay. I need to look at the script again. Where is it at? Oh, it's over here. There it is. Okay. Okay. I try to keep in mind the sequence of who is saying what. That way I know who to put where in the scene. Timer ran out, so 5-minute break. Good, that'll give me some time to like figure out how to thumbnail and whatnot. I think for this, I'll get my sketchbook and thumbnail some ideas. Ooh, okay. Okay, no new comments that I see, so. This is strip number 505, panel 1, that I got to draw thumbnails for to figure out how to get everybody drawn in. So. Oh, one of the problems of drawing significant others is you got to incorporate them too, even if they're not saying anything in the panel. That's one layout idea. I'm not sure that I like it, but. Going to thumbnail out a couple of different ideas for how this could work. That way I can pick the one that I think may look the best. Thing about comics whenever you're figuring out layouts is definitely figuring out the layout of the speech balloons. And that's kind of the trouble I'm having with this particular panel is where do I want everybody in the frame and have the speech balloons still make sense for who is saying what at what time, and having it be actually readable to the readers and explicit the order in which you should read the speech balloons. It's a lot to take in and it's a lot to consider. Excuse me. I'm thinking that first one. It's probably going to be the best bet. 50 seconds left. I'm going to see about grabbing me a drink. I'm thirsty. Just going to leave that there for a hot second. Oof, ow. Water has been had. I'm going to turn the light on. There we go. Ouch. Break time is over. Plant a tree and start being focused now. Yeah, the way that my little productivity app works, which is called Forest, Forest works in that for however length of a time that you want to work, it plant a little digital tree or bush, depending on how long it is that you want to focus. And your objective is to leave the little digital plant alone, i.e. leaving your phone alone, so that the digital plant actually grows. And your objective is to keep working until the plant is done growing, which is however long time that you want to set on the little timer. So this time around, let's see, got 50. We've been streaming for 57 minutes. So let us do maybe 25 minutes. Do I need 25 minutes? Yeah, I'm going to need 25 minutes to pencil this freaking comic strip because lordy. Okay. And planted. So we're going to work for another 25 minutes figuring out the layout of this thing. I'm going to look at the script again. Wow. Excuse me. Oh. Okay. Just puzzling out some things. Okay. So here's what I will do. I'm going to get StreamYard separate. And I'm going to leave this up for a reference for how to draw Matthew, Jolene's boyfriend, because I never made a character sheet because I'm a professional. So I'm going to leave this up as a reference for how to draw this guy. And I will use that while penciling at least these next couple of panels. Okay, and I'm going to leave this here comic page up as a reference for how I'm going to draw the people in the order in this particular page. Validation number 505. This needs to stay open. I'm not a fan of doing that to books, but I want this to stay open. All right. Now I was going to play music. I just realized. So, oh, that needs turned down. There we go. Because the Forest app has sound effects too. Just going to have that play to occupy a part of my brain while I draw. Ugh. I did make a height chart at one point. Did I ever put Allie's girlfriends alongside it? Nope, just the guy friends. Dang it. All right.
Hi, madam. Yes. I'm working. Really?
That's what she sounds like sometimes.
Just
Look at the script again. Because who's Allie talking to in this scene? Okay. She's talking to two different people, so I'm going to have her kind of looking more forward. Or at least have her head facing forward so that her eyes can cast about. That seems like the best course of action.
Madam, I hear you. You can't have philosophical debates in the kitchen by yourself. Madam. Really?
Interesting the perspective of it. And including a fancy chandelier, because convention centers often have fancy ass chandeliers. Just thinking about the convention center that SPX was held in, there were a lot of fancy ass chandeliers. And crown molding. A lot of crown molding.
Yes, madam. I see you at the corner of my eye. Mm-hmm. Shh. Yes, I know. Do you want in my lap? Is that what's gonna make you shush? Is that what's gonna calm your kitty titties? Nope. Nope, she just wants to whine. Can I have a cup of wine? Mm-hmm. Yes. Really? You don't say.
I think y'all know by now that this is just how Scarlett operates. It's not that she has anything particularly needy that she wants to say. She just wants to howl because that's just what she do.
Isn't it? Yes. Yes. Really? Uh-huh. Is that right? Oh no, that was a deep meow. Oh, that was a warning meow. I'm a leave it now.
All right, back to the script. Okay. Okay, I know how to draw this one. So back to me so that you can see me draw. I'm not responding to you, Kat. That's just scarlet means scarlet. You best not be getting into any shit there, little cat. Yes, you.
Yeah, you. Talking to you.
Oh, she's wearing a baby teacup. That's an easy enough fix.
What?
She does not like feet. Dang it, that's not what I wanted.
Oh, really?
Also, I'm just going to throw this out there for any validation viewers that may be watching this later. I vastly prefer Albert with a beard.
Do you disagree? Well, I know you don't like beards.
Oh, Scarlett is a pacing. She's a pacing like she wants to get up in my lap.
Don't you, pretty? I know you do. Come on. Oh, you're thinking. Oh, you're thinking about it. I see that face. Come on. You know you wanna.
Like I mentioned in the previous live stream, Scarlett is the cat that will jump into your lap and then wonder why she jumped into your lap. She's not necessarily a lap cat.
Maybe you want scooping. Is that what you want? Do you want scooping? Wink.
No, she just wants to sit there and look cute. She wants to be ogled. That's what she wants. She wants to be ogled.
That's my foot. Are you tripping over my foot? Foot pettings.
She does not like foot pettings. Alrighty. Now that Scarlett has had her howling time, I'm getting the script back up. Okay. I know how to script this part, so I will just shrink that back down. And yeah, we'll just leave it at that. Yeah, cool. Get this back up. So one thing I'm still getting used to with Loki is just the mouse pad, because this is primarily a touch screen. Okay. Okay, cool. been 25 minutes. My little timer just went off. Cool. 5-minute break. And yeah. My cats usually just get in my lap to get my attention and then walk away. Yeah, Scarlet is a lot like that. If she does get in my lap, she'll only hang around for like a couple of meows, let me scratch her a little bit, and then she'll leap off of my lap. Bree is the one that jumps up onto my lap and stays there for as long as she can possibly do, because she's that kind of a turd. Normally when I'm busy, of course. That's just how cats do. They're like, stop what you're doing. I'm going to love you now. That is the cat way. I'm half expecting that when I'm done live streaming, my cat Bree is just going to come up and then stay in my lap and just stay there for like an hour and a half. Because if she can get away with it, she will stay in my lap as long as she can. Scarlet doesn't. Scarlet's not my lap cat. Bree is. Alrighty. So we've been streaming for about an hour and a half. I'm really bad at taking breaks. I kind of have to take breaks because it's just the way that my brain is. I can't really like sit for more than a half hour unless I'm in a groove. If I'm in a groove, then I can sit for more than a half hour, but half the time I can't really sit still for more than 25 minutes anymore, if only because my tailbone is such that, because I broke it in the 8th grade and it never healed properly, my tailbone is such that if I sit for more than 25 minutes, it's like, I'm going to seize now and you will not get up. So I've gotten used to just getting up. Speaking of which, I'm going to get on my feet that way. That way I'm not hurting too much. Hi, by the way, I saw you were working and thought I would hang out and we could have a comic making digital office. I'm totally up for that. Yeah. Probably going to be streaming for maybe 15 more minutes, because one thing I've noticed in the last couple of live streams is that the service that I use, StreamYard, will cut off a live stream, not necessarily during the live stream, but when it posts up later as just a regular old video for you to watch, it will cut off so that the video only lasts like 2 hours, but only catches the last 2 hours. Anything before that gets cut off. That's something that I've noticed with StreamYard. Whenever it reposts live streams as videos after they are live, they'll just cut off a segment. It's weird, but it's just something that I've noticed, and I'm going to work within the limitations of the software, at least for the time being. Actually, I made some pretty good progress on penciling this here comic strip of Validation. This up here is Validation 504, at least the inks and the colors for it. This one's already done. This is the one that I'm working on right now. This is strip number 505. Getting this first panel, the layout that I wanted, was a bigger pain in the butt than I wanted, but I figured it out. We got it. So there's that. Whenever I get back to working in my next like 15-minute sprint, I think what I'll do is I'll just ink The Legend of Jamie Roberts. This was what I penciled previously. I think for the last sprint of this live stream, I will work on inking this. And I will give this a break before I pencil in any details on the faces or anything. So I think I shall do that. I'm going to get another swig of water. I will be right back because I am thirsty. We'll see if an Aaron's Brewery takes my chair. No Brie in the chair. That's a miracle. All right. Shush notification. Okay. I thought there was another comment. We're good. I'll leave that up for a hot second. And break time is over. Plant a tree and start being focused now. I mentioned this a couple of times, but I am using a app called Forest. What it does is you set a timer for however long that you want to focus. And during that focus time, there's a little digital tree or bush, depending on how long it is that you want to focus. And the objective is to have this little plant grow while the timer is counting down. If you try to open any apps on the phone while the timer is going, if you try to open up any other apps, the plant will die. So the objective is to plant this little digital seed and let the little plant grow until the timer runs out. I personally really like this app. It's how I've gotten into the flow of working for 25 minutes, taking a break for 5 minutes. I've heard this particular work technique of working 25 minutes, break for 5 minutes, as I think it's called the Pomodoro technique. There's a name for it, and I never get the name right because I think of pompadours, which is a kind of ridiculous haircut. And I know that's not right. So, but there is a technique where you work for 25 minutes, take a break for 5, work 25, break for 5. And then you do that sequence like 3 times. And then by the end of that segment where you repeat that 3 times, an hour and a half will have passed. And by then you can like stop for a half hour and have a snack or something. But it's also come in really handy for, because I took part in National Novel Writing Month last month. This app was really handy for making me actually focus on the document in front of me so that I could actually sit down and write and not be distracted by phone notifications. Because the other thing that Forest does is if you give it the permission to in the settings, it will turn off notifications while the timer is going and while your little digital plant is growing, which is why I really like Forest. So, thinking this is not going to take super duper long. Again, most of the work with this particular comic page is going to be digital. So the actual like hand inking parts are not going to take super duper long. Also, the sun is kind of peeking out, so I will turn that off. That app is such a cute idea. Oh, I love it. It has really like saved my life. Whenever I started doing like freelancing full time, this was the app that actually got me to focus and get assignments done on time. It is amazing and I love it. They also have another app called Sleep Town that it kind of does the same thing of the same kind of concept where you hit the timer to start and it just goes, and the objective is to not touch any other apps. But Sleep Town is designed to help you actually sleep for however long that it is that you want to sleep. I've not used Sleep Town, so I don't know how effective it is, but Sleep Town, the objective is as you sleep, there's a little virtual town that gets built from the ground up in the app while you sleep. But if you poke around on your phone for any length of time, that little town gets destroyed. So your objective is to not fiddle with your phone at night so that you can actually get some sleep. It's by the same people who designed this app called Forest. I love this app so much. One thing I do like about this is that you can choose what kind of tree that you're going to grow. Right now, I have it set for the Christmas theme, so everything is covered in snow, but there's a little pine tree. But if I wanted to, I could grow where is it at? I could grow a clubhouse with a little ladder and everything. There's also a cherry blossom tree. I had to think of the name for a hot minute. A cherry blossom tree. And there's like a bunch of different trees that you could grow. There's even this one. I'm not even sure which one this is, but it's purple and it's almost like a weeping willow of some kind, but it's cute. And then there's a few other like sillier designs. If you're focusing for less than 25 minutes, the least amount of time that you can focus through forest is 10 minutes, I think. Yeah, 10 minutes. That's the least amount of time that you can focus on something. More than that, like 10 to 20 minutes is how long of a focus that you have. And that grows a bush. A bush grows in 20 minutes or less. And you can choose different bush designs. There's even one that's a cactus. I have not unlocked that one yet. The more time that you spend being focused, the more little gold tokens that the app gives you. The more gold tokens that you have, the more unlockables you can unlock. Right now, I'm trying to hoard my little gold coins so that I can unlock the cafe noise ambient sound, because I focus really, really well when I have cafe sounds or rain sounds. Those are the two best noises, the two best ambient noises that make me focus the most. All right. We've been live streaming for an hour and a half. I'm going to ink for 15 minutes and grow this here adorable bush with antlers and plant. To ink this, I am going to use this here Pentel brush pen that I got at Michael's the other day. This is a decent substitute for my zebra brush pens, but I'm not going to be sticking with this long term. I'm going to place an order for my zebra pens as soon as I can. I would rather work with those than work with this. This is nice and all, but this can lift with the eraser if you erase the pencil marks underneath the inks too soon. So that's one thing I don't necessarily like about this one. After I ink it, I'll have to let it sit for a while to let the inks dry. Whereas with the zebra brush pens, I could just erase the lines like borderline immediately and it will not lift. It's fast drying. That's why I like the zebra brush pens so well. All right, pencil needs to go over here. I almost forgot. Here we go. Okay. Have that up for a bit while I work. Cool. Turning the rainforest sounds on again. be honest, I'm not really looking forward to the digital parts of this page because the majority of this is going to be done digitally, and there's going to be a lot that needs done on this page to get it where I want it to. Not super stoked for all the labor that's going to go into it, but I'm hoping that the end result will be nice. But just gonna try to enjoy the journey while I'm on it. That's the thing about comics making that I had to learn to accept, was not to worry so much about what the final product is going to look like. Don't worry about what the final product is going to look like. Just focus on the journey of making the thing. Because that's where the enjoyment is. So I'm going to try not to think too hard about the steps that are awaiting me, but I'm going to just focus instead on what's in front of me. I still can't believe that this is page 49 of The Legend of Jamie Roberts. I am one page away from 50. Holy dang. To be perfectly honest with you, I wasn't sure that I would even make it this far. Like, I had plans and aspirations to make it to 50 pages. I just didn't think that it would actually happen. And now it is. It's happening because this is page 49. Page 50 is next. That said, page 49 is the last page of chapter 2. So, oh, have you used the Pentel Pocket Brush Pen? It's my new #1 tool because it doesn't fray and need replacing. The Pocket Brush Pen. I don't think it's, I mean, if it's this thing, well, this is the black one that I have. I have another one that's blue. This little guy right here, I actually got this through Art Snacks. But if it's this, oh no, this is the Pentel Sign Pen. That is something completely different. Never mind, ignore me. P.S. Hey, another artist popping in to listen while we work. Heck yeah, we're gonna start a little like artist live jam here. Holy dang. That's awesome. You don't have to listen to rainforest sounds with me. You can listen to whatever it is that you want to listen to. But yeah, like I mentioned before, I try not to think too much about how the page is going to look at the end. I try not to focus on the end product. I just want to focus on what's in front of me. Because anytime that I focus on the end product rather than the journey it takes to get there, I have a really unpleasant time with the art. That's why I hated painting for so long, was because I had an objective in mind when I painted, and the result never turned out how I wanted it to. At least until I figured out what kind of subject matter I wanted to paint, which it turns out is not subject matter at all. I like painting geometric shapes. For some strange reason, painting geometric shapes gives me great happiness. And I leave the figure drawing to actual drawing rather than painting. I don't try to paint realistic stuff anymore. Well, drawing the mask here is going to be a bit of a pain in the ass, boy, because there's feathers. Full disclosure, a lot of the figures in The Legend of Jamie Roberts that are native to Korith were inspired a lot by figures that I saw in my African art history courses and a lot of the masks that I saw while studying African art history. So if you're looking at the art of some of the figures of The Legend of Jamie Roberts and thinking, this looks vaguely African, that's why. To some degree, Native American as well, but the pull is more from African art, especially West African art, like from Burkina Faso and the Dogon people in Mali. Those were the people that inspired me the most. Oh, that's for the refill, but it's that model. It's like a brush fountain pen. Oh, talking about what I was talking about earlier, this thing here. Yeah. I mean, this, not the blue one, this one, the black one. This was my inking choice for comics for the longest time, and it does hold up well enough. It's just whenever I erase the pencil lines underneath after inking with it, it tended to lift sometimes, depending on how hard you press the eraser. But it still lifted enough that I was like, ah! And the other thing is that it dried, like I used up the ink really, really fast with that thing. So it ended up like dying on me faster more often than not. After that, I switched to the Tombow double-pointed pens, which are these guys right here. I have this one marked off with a little white sticker because the black end is like dead, but the gray end is still inky. This is a Tombow Fudenosuke double-tipped brush pen. Both ends are brush pens. It's just one's gray, one's black. The black pen is like just about dead, but the gray one's perfectly fine. That one was my comic inking tool for the longest time. But as it turns out, those die really fast too. So I started using the zebra pens, and those ones actually lasted me a good long while before they started dying out. I go through ink pens like water. I need to follow up with my comics buddy, Dave. He has this website that he goes to where he gets all of these brush pens and fountain pens for like stupid cheap, and they're like Japanese brand pens, and I cannot remember for the life of me what it's called off the top of my head. It's not Scrapbook Pal, but pro tip, use Scrapbook Pal to get Copic markers and refill inks for Copic markers. Scrapbookpal.com. It has saved my wallet so many times. Because they have Copic markers for anywhere between 30 to 50% off, depending on if they're on sale. And the refill inks are half price, which is really nice. Hook me up when you find out. Oh, for sure. Whenever I find out the name of that website with the pens, I will definitely let you know, because it's not just you, it's also for me. A little selfish, but definitely going to find out sooner rather than later. Because if I can get those zebra brush pens off of that site for super cheap, I'm going to use that. It has been 15 minutes. 5-minute break. Cool. Alrighty. So it has been almost 2 hours. If you like, I can keep streaming further. I've mentioned a couple times, though, that the software that I use for streaming, StreamYard, if you do a live stream for longer than 2 hours, then StreamYard will only air the last 2 hours of a live stream, and it will cut off everything that happened before that, as I have discovered. So we can end it here so that people who watch this stream later as a plain old video can see everything, or we can just keep going. I'm going to leave that up to you, because I can do whichever one. I don't know why Zumper, this apartment searching app, keeps recommending 3-bedroom houses. I don't need a 3-bedroom house. 2 bedrooms I need, but not 3. Oh, I got a new follower on Instagram. Neat. This dude's line art is actually pretty good, considering the subject matter. I'll give him a follow back. Cool. Do you think you could cheat it by ending the live stream and starting up a new one immediately after? I could do that. Kaya knows what's up. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that name right, but yeah, this person definitely knows what's up. So I'm willing to give that a shot. You know what? Let's go ahead and wrap up this particular live stream here. I'll actually be back in a couple of minutes because there's a couple of voicemails that came through while I was working. I'm going to check what those are. So I'll end the stream here. I should be back on in about 10 minutes, and we'll take that 10 minutes to like check messages, regroup, and all that junk. When I do live stream again, it'll be on this same YouTube channel, so just keep an eye on the YouTube channel. Again, the next 10 minutes. So we'll go ahead and end it here. If you have to leave, that's totally okay, but I appreciate you sticking around and watching. You are awesome.